and so I suggested the Michelle Gable one right there.
Oh, nice.
And it's on their list.
Yay.
I was like, yay! Tony's writing stuff down, though.
Yeah, sorry, I'm having a...
You know what's
I just want my brain to work.
Well, yeah. My brain's also working for this podcast. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Semi-bookish podcast. This is literally the podcast that's kicking off summer reading.
Yeah!
Like,
this particular episode, not this particular...
No, like, we're recording this on the day summer reading starts for us.
Yes!
Hey, Grant, do you want to go first and tell us what's entertaining you?
Sure. I've watched so many gosh darn movies in the past few weeks. Where do I begin? So I'm currently working my way through this thing called the Decalogue. Tony knows about this.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it was originally made for Polish TV. It's
Polish TV.
Polish TV, and it's made up of 10 feature-length films.
Was this like the 80s?
It's like a binge box.
Yes, I want to 1989.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow, yeah. So definitely 80s.
Yeah. Each episode, it's a separate story, but it all roughly takes place in the same location, which is like this. It's like a whatchamacallit?
It's like a project.
Project, yes.
Yeah.
Projects, apartment complex.
Yeah.
And I want to say Warsaw.
Yes. Yes. Almost a ghetto.
Yeah.
One could say.
Very, tall, brutalist architecture, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm really, really enjoying it so far. So each episode, well, none of them really completely match up with it. Like, it's kind of roughly inspired by the Ten Commandments, so you'll see elements of like one commandment and like all the ethical implications of said commandment. It's kind of worked out throughout the episode. Two of the episodes, I want to say 5 and 6, were extended and theatrically released back in the day. I have yet to see the extended versions of those two. No, it's so far it's been a very consistent series. I like some other films I've seen from the director. Another thing that's interesting about it is each episode has a completely different cinematographer. So they all have a different vibe, visual look.
Yeah.
Probably the most like standout in that aspect would be episode 5, where everything is a very sickly green yellowish tint, and it's almost, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost kind of similar to like early like silent film in a way where the edges are like dark and you kind of have tunnel vision almost.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And it's fitting because it's also, at least so far, kind of the darkest episode. Like it deals with like thematically, yeah. Thou shalt not kill. So yeah. And it kind of follows, a few characters. One, this lawyer this idealistic lawyer who's against the death penalty, and then there's this youth that you're following, and it becomes increasingly clear that he has some dark plans. And then you kind of follow this third guy who kind of has an unfortunate meetup with this other guy, and yeah. And a lot of his films have to do with fate and chance and stuff, so it's different characters meeting each other, and a lot of characters show up again in the other episodes in the background. So it's very interesting. Look forward to finishing it. I have 2 more episodes to go, so that's exciting. I watched a movie called Chess of the Wind the other night.
Oh,
it's an Iranian movie from 1976. It's not quite a murder mystery because you know who does it, but it's like a thriller. It's a thriller that takes place in one mansion I think it's technically a period piece, so maybe like early 1900s.
Oh.
Judging, it's kind of hard because I'm not super familiar with like Iranian culture and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
But just based on like the costuming and stuff and technology that you see, I would say like early 1900s.
Yeah.
Very very formalist, cold, at times dreamlike atmosphere, especially towards the end. Visually very cool. It was actually banned almost immediately after it appeared. This was shortly after the Iranian Cultural Revolution or whatever.
Sure.
And there's definitely some things in it that they would not approve of. But through a weird thing of fate, the director's son found a preserved copy of it at like a not a thrift store, but something like an equivalent of a thrift store. Basically, it was in a corner.
Weird.
He was like, "Oh, look, some old film." And he was like, "Wait a second." And then so Martin Scorsese actually helped. He didn't restore it himself, but
he brought people in.
He brought people in to restore it, and
that's really cool.
it would have been very sad if it was lost because it's a very interesting film and very very nice to look at. So
wow, that's interesting.
And I've seen so many other things, but I will not get into that. I will leave that to others. Tony, what is entertaining you? Yes.
Leaving it to others.
Okay, well, Grant and I went to go see the new Steven Spielberg
Yes, we
movie
did. I almost forgot.
Called Disclosure Day.
Mm-hmm.
We kept seeing advertisements for that on TikTok.
Yes, so I love Steven Spielberg.
Fair.
But that is not the reason I went to go see them. That I ordered that we go see it. I went to see it for Josh O'Connor because I didn't realize that Josh O'Connor was even in the movie. And then I saw something randomly last week that was like Josh O'Connor's first big, like major motion picture. And I was like, it is. What is going on? So, and I've never seen him on the big screen. So it was really exciting to go see that. I think few actors deserve that much and more, and he is one of them.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, it's got a great cast. It's him, Coleman Domingo, Emily Blunt. I'm trying to remember who else. There were other people I recognized whose names I'm not.
Josh O'Connor balanced it out for me.
Yeah.
You know my feelings about Emily Blunt.
She does have a thing with her eyes and cheekbones, which may or may not. I have the same problem with Renee Zellweger. Talented actress. I just can't stand. There's something about her face that just makes me want to run screaming in the opposite direction, which is not necessarily entirely her fault because I don't want her changing her face just to make it pleasing to people watching her movies because she's a talented actress. Anyway, all that is to say, if you enjoyed any of Spielberg's science fiction movies, but particularly Close Encounters of the Third Kind, this is very,
There's a lot of connections you can make to Close Encounters.
It's very much in the exact same category, I would say, of science fiction of like, aliens came to Earth, government conspiracy. This is much more in the government conspiracy like thriller arena. It even starts cold like a thriller often does.
It's almost like Close Encounters with a little of what's the Tom Cruise Spielberg movie?
Oh, War of the Worlds.
No, the other one.
The other one. Oh,
Minority Report.
Oh,
where there's a lot of like chase elements and he's.
Yeah, that's true. Minority Report is probably my favorite Steven Spielberg film, which is the most controversial.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's just great.
I gotta go with Close Encounters for myself.
Close Encounters is wonderful. I think Close Encounters and E.T. and some of those movies in that arena, like the pre-Indiana Jones post-dual decade of Steven Spielberg's career, everything was a family story. So, it didn't matter if the alien was hiding in the closet of the kid whose parents were getting divorced, or if the alien sort of possessed the mind of the father who's doing his little clay art. And, there's always a family drama at the heart of those. Whereas in Disclosure Day, since we're so many decades beyond that, and Spielberg has done a whole career's worth of stuff, he definitely leaned into sort of the more like alien aspects of that whole alien abduction thing. And depending on your understanding or, love or not of those things, you're gonna understand things differently. And I think the thing I loved about the movie the most is that it doesn't hold your hand all the way through. There's like one scene, I think, as there is in every Steven Spielberg film, where he basically is like, this is what the movie's about, in case you didn't know. But it's so late that if you have no patience, you would have walked out by that point or turned it off or something. So I really respected that. I think that's hard to do when you're someone whose movies could just show up in the theater and people go see it.
Yeah.
So I really respected that. I also just really liked the movie apparently a lot. It did a lot for me personally as a creative person. I dreamed about it that night, which is really weird. That does not happen very often to me. So I really, really enjoyed it. So that's what I'm reading. I am playing once more because I'm an obsessive and it's been a while since I've played this game, but I love it. I'm playing Gotham Knights again. Because I just absolutely love that game. And now for the books that I'm reading, because I'm just reading a few things. I am so close. I'm like 100 pages from finishing Dune, the first book. I'm honestly I want to rush through the 100 pages, but I also don't want to rush through the 100 pages because I'm enjoying just how much I'm enjoying the end of the book. It's really one of those books that just gets much better the longer you read it, the more you're into it. And so by the end, it's just really gripping to me. And then I can't wait to start doing Messiah because I'm like, wait a minute. My understanding of things is, I'm fascinated. Anyway, so there's Dune, and then I will start doing Messiahs hopefully by the end of the week. That's the goal. For audiobook, I am listening to, again, I'm listening to Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, because a lot of the elements that I'm enjoying about Dune are also elements that I really enjoyed about Eye of the World when I first read it, like almost 2 decades ago. Ooh, that's weird. And so I'm like, all right, I don't know if I'm going to get through the entire Wheel of Time because that's 14 books, 14 very long books. But I'm going to try because I really love that show. I just rewatched season 3 over the weekend. And one of the best things that could have happened to that show, I think, is that it got canceled to force me to go and find out the rest of the story as a reader. But I also hate that show got canceled because they ended season 3 in such a lovely spot where they were just really gonna do more, and then they got canceled, which is annoying. But whatever. And then for graphic novels, I'm reading My Hero Academia. I think I'm on volume 5 or 6 because I haven't read the whole thing. So I'm just gonna do that for my graphic novel reads until I'm done, and then I'm gonna read something else. So that's where I'm at with things. Erin.
Me? So, first of all, I'll just get out of what I'm watching out of the way because I'm actually watching something.
Ooh!
Rewatching Code Lyoko.
Oh.
Because guess what? Tony's not going to want to be drinking for this. The original creator and writer for the original TV show, the original cartoon, they're rebooting it.
Really?
They're rebooting it, and they just announced it like last week or something. I'm so excited.
I used to watch
fun.
the cartoon all the time.
You can watch it on YouTube for free.
Oh, really?
They uploaded it on YouTube for free.
That's fun.
So rewatching that, super excited because
It's like The Matrix for kids.
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm also. Have you seen it before?
No.
Oh, it is basically like The Matrix for kids.
Okay.
They go to it's like a middle school or something.
Yeah.
And there's this computer program that they are a part of, that they can play a game, and sometimes issues from that game kind of go out into real life, and they have to go in the game where they have a computer program friend named Aelita, and she has to turn around and help them go and stop whatever it is, and it turns back time at the beginning of the day at the very end of the episode, and it's a whole entire thing. It's really cool.
And the sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
But and so when you're in the real world, it's classic anime 2D style, and then when you're in the computer, it's 3D animation, which is
that's neat.
It's very, very unique in terms of the show.
Yeah.
And it was it's a European show, and I can't remember the country that it's originally from.
Yeah.
But it was taken on by Cartoon Network for a time,
Wow.
and then the original company lost its network backing and everything back there, and then Cartoon Network shifted priorities with what they wanted to put on, and so the show eventually never got a final conclusion. We ended on like season 4 or 5 or something, and they were gonna do like a live action kind of like thing to go with it, and we never got one. I'm rewatching Law and Order because I've never actually seen the entirety of Law and Order, and so I've decided I'm going to throw that into my life.
Like the original series?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know if anyone other than Dick Wolf, the creator of the series, has seen the entire Law and Order.
Unfortunately, where Peacock had, because that's what I'm watching it on.
Oh, sure.
They only have season 13 onwards, so I'm have to start at season 13.
Oh, well, sure.
And I think I mentioned this a while ago that it's kind of awkward because I'm watching it from the future, so I don't have the same, like, values or leanings as it would be when it was first coming out.
Yeah.
And season 13 starts literally the year after 9/11.
Oh. Well,
And so the first entire episode is about, stuff, stereotypes and political leanings that are surrounding that time
Lots
period.
of Islamophobia, huh?
We're going to hear a little bit more
White
about
people
9/11
doing
episode.
so.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait, what?
White people.
Yeah, Islamophobia. Yeah.
No, white people who become part of that the Muslim community, and they're the ones committing the crime, is like the first episode of the entire
Oh, I see. Oh,
and it's like
that's interesting.
It's like the craziest, like, weird, like, some of the stuff that I'm watching, I'm sitting there going, okay, in 2002, I might have been vehemently angry enough to be like, yeah, but, like, now in the future, I'm watching this going, no. Anyways, I'm also playing Avowed. And I love Avowed. For those who have not played it before, it's a game that's made by Obsidian, who you might know is the company that originated the Fallout games.
Oh, yeah.
And also the Outer Worlds. And so Avowed is like their version of a medieval fantasy Outer Worlds. However, it's also based on the Pillars of Eternity series that they work on.
Which is a great series.
Amazing series. So this is after Pillars of Eternity 2 Dreadfire, I believe. Or Deadfire. It's Deadfire. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
I think it's Deadfire.
Yeah. So it's set after that. Ironically enough, you are playing the colonizers of this group.
That's fun.
But there's a little bit more to go with it. So, spoiler alert for people who have not played the game and don't want to skip ahead a few minutes. So when you are in this world, so there's this place called the Living Lands, and the Living Lands is an island or continent that is a bunch of different groups of people that have kind of come together, and they've made their own community, and it's kind of imagine it as a United States where all these different cultures come together to escape whatever they were dealing with in their original countries, and they've all come together here and they all live together. But now you have somebody who is a la England or some type of superpower who does colonization, comes in and is well, we want to put law and order into this country.
Oh, you mean the United States of
Yes.
America?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So they come in and they go hey, we want to do this, and then everyone's well, no. And it's kind of more a fantasy medieval set, so obviously it's not completely crazy, but there are guns, so it's very fun. You can use that as a weapon.
Interesting.
But you are the envoy to the Emperor of the Adirans, who is the country of Adir, which is this powerhouse, they're the colonizers. And everybody hates them because they are coming in and basically inquisitioning everybody else, because they have a group called the Steel Garrote, which is their version of the Inquisition.
I love a good Inquisition.
Yeah.
not a real Inquisition.
It's their version of the Inquisition, or their versions, if you play Dragon Age, the Templars, who are kind of overseeing all of the and oppressing all of the
Templars in real history.
Wizards.
Inquisitors.
Yes.
Of the sort.
So, like, you have that going on, and so there's, like, a plague that's going on in the Living Lands called the Dream Scourge, and everybody's like, what the heck, where is this coming from? So you are the envoy to the ambassador. You have 4 different, like, types of backstory that you can rely on as your character. So mine is the Arcane Scholar. So I'm, like, the scholar envoy to the Emperor, and so basically, like, I'm here to study it and figure out exactly what's going on. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you are also what's called a godlike, and godlikes are basically, like, beings who have been blessed by a god, and the gods are very involved in Pillars of Eternity universe. And you can tell if that person is part of a specific god because they have features that are, like, based off of the said god. Like, you meet a guy and his god is... I don't remember the name of it, but he's, like, the justice god or whatever, and he did a whole bunch of crazy stuff at one point, and basically his entire thing is, like, scales and justice and gold, and so this guy, this godlike for this god, is literally just entirely, like, Midas touch painted gold.
Interesting.
Like, his eyes are glowing gold and everything. It's also your token Matt Mercer voice acting in the game.
Fun.
When you meet him, so that's fun, but as the person who's the envoy, which is really cool, is you get this people for this group in the Living Lands to trust you, because you can turn around and you can just help them, and they realize, oh, not everybody is subscribing to what the actual Emperor and the Adherents want. Like, this person might be close to the Emperor, but they don't agree with them fully, and you can, like, legit look at people and go, I don't agree with this. Like, this is not something I want to do. I'm just here because you needed help, and I thought I would help you because you're just here. You literally walk into this first city for the first time, and you immediately get assassinated by, like, rebels and stuff, so you have to figure out your own murder.
That's fun.
And then you have a voice in your head who is actually your god, who turns out is also not really a god yet.
Okay.
Because there's, like, some extra lore that I'm not going to spoil too much that goes in there. However, my only one spoiler, which makes sense, is the Dream Scourge is your god's fault in the first place.
Oh, well.
So, like, it's the god's fault that it's happening,
Sure.
and you get to make a decision as you're playing the game on if you're going to support your god or not.
Oh, that's interesting.
And if you can help it kind of grow and shape how it thinks at certain points. Like, some of your choices don't matter, but some of your choices do matter.
Yeah.
If you kind of take your god and kind of go like, hey, no, we want to help people. We want to actually do things. When they become out in the open and you release them, they can help everything and make it better. But if you don't, then it's going to make it worse.
Yeah.
And so you can do that, and it's a lot of fun. The combat system in this game is fantastic. It's in first person, but you can choose third person if you want. Unfortunately, there are spiders, Tony, but there is an arachnophobia mode.
Oh.
There's a spider mode.
I wonder how good it is.
I don't think it's too bad.
I really like the one for Hogwarts Legacy because it turns them into ridiculous skating little cubozoids. Not quite cubozoids,
It
but
turns them into circles.
yeah, they're little shapes with skate that are skating, which is really kind of
They
fun.
just turn into circles like that. They're floating circles.
Oh, I can handle floating circles. Cool.
Because
might do that.
if you do play the game, I would highly recommend turning on...
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'm not showing you the spider.
Okay,
I would
cool.
highly turn on the arachnophobia
Because
mode.
if not,
Because the first area you go to, the first area in the game, you don't really see a lot of them, but they're tinier. But there is... There's a bounty that you can do, and it's optional, but there is a bounty you can do where you do have to go fight a spider. And if you're not careful, because I did this by accident, even though I kind of knew where it was, but I was like, I'm going to leave it alone, but I was looking for a different quest. You can accidentally walk into the spider den and fight the big bounty spider by accident.
yeah.
If you're not careful.
Like the 2 in Fallen Order.
This is even worse because I'm a big like proponent of like I like to search every single nook and cranny for things because there's so much going on in the first area that I'm not even done yet, and I've been playing for like 3 days straight.
Yeah.
There's so much to do in that area where, like, you want to go into every nook and cranny and you're looking for certain people. And there are certain quests where they do not give you a plot point to go by. So there's, like, a few treasure map plot points that it's not going to tell you. There's one where you have to go search for all these totems that they're not going to tell you where everything is. You have to go by the riddles that they give you. There's also one where they tell you that this guy is missing and he was lost around this specific area, and then you have to go find where that area is on the map, and you haven't discovered it yet, so you have no clue where you're looking at. So you could I have accidentally walked into multiple things, including fighting an ogre that I was not prepared for. So I died, and I had saved right at the very top of the ledge. So I shot at the guy from the top of the ledge, and my 2 companions went down there, fought him, and I just, like, was, like, sniping him from the ledge with a wand.
Nice.
For, like, a good, like, 15 minutes, and it worked. But it was just, it's one of those things where, like, you get to play
just
it.
Stumble into
but it has shotguns, it has pistols, it has wands, grimoires, swords, spears, quarterstaffs, axes. It's such a wide variety of stuff, and you don't have to specifically stick to one type of branch of power. You can combine however you want to go.
Yeah, that's fun.
So I love that. And the music's really good too. But stories also have really...
What a transition.
Yeah. What are we talking about today? Grant made this episode up.
Well, so we didn't have an episode planned, so
It's true, we didn't.
So we were just like, what are we going to talk about? Dinosaurs?
So we were brainstorming, and I want to say like 3 years ago, maybe it was my birthday episode.
It was actually like 1.5.
Okay,
it was the 3 of us.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember which.
I thought Andy was here. I could have sworn
No,
Andy was here. Okay.
It was us 3.
I think we did one similar to that one. I don't remember.
Yeah, so whatever. That's irregardless.
Yes.
So we did an episode about storytelling and music, and for this one, I thought maybe we could do stories that involve music.
Yeah.
Or just books about music in general that we have read.
Yeah, you said something earlier about 9/11 coming back up at this part.
Oh gosh,
so
yeah.
What,
you did, by the way. I'd like to know more about this because what do you mean?
Well, no, I can't remember if I've talked about this book on the podcast at all. I chose
Probably not.
Probably not. I chose it as the staff picks. Like my
is this my year of rest and relaxation?
No.
Okay,
this
good.
is although that also does involve 9/11.
Oh yeah,
Perhaps it's a theme. But no, this one is Shadowbond by Steve Erickson.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yep, nope. I know exactly. I read this one for the Staff Picks Book Club.
I didn't.
I read this one. Okay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. No. To me, it's a remarkable book.
Yeah.
I want to say it came out in 2015 or 2016. Mm-hmm. I don't know a whole lot about Steve Erickson. This is the only book of his that I've read. I know he's pretty well received. I think he wrote a book that was turned into a movie with like one of the Francos. I can't remember.
Oh, really?
Maybe it's like Zeroville or something like that. I can't remember. But anyways,
There is a book of his called Zeroville.
it is Zero. That's what I was thinking. Okay. So Shadowbond. It is the basic premise, although it shoots off into a lot of different trajectories, which will make sense in a few moments. So it begins with the Twin Towers miraculously reappearing in the desert, in the middle of the desert here in America.
Is it like years after the fact? Too?
Yeah. It's like I want to say it takes place in a near future America. I should have presaged it with that.
That's interesting.
In which certain states have seceded, and so there's like I forget the term that they give themselves, but they've seceded from the Union. Mm-hmm. And the Twin Towers reappear in the middle of the desert. People are drawn towards it. Some people hear nothing. Some people hear songs Some are from their childhood. Some are songs, that they enjoy. Some are songs that they've never heard before.
Okay.
And within said tower is Elvis Presley's stillborn brother, who in our reality was never born, obviously.
Okay.
But in this reality, so it's hard to explain. He's like from another possible timeline where Elvis died in childbirth, and he lived.
And then his mom is always really angry at him because he was born and Elvis wasn't.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay.
And then there's like a lady who's on the inside or something.
Yes.
Who's like she has no clue what's going on, and she keeps trying to move between the different like areas in the tower, and she can't go anywhere, and it keeps freaking her out.
I believe that's the person that they send in, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
She wakes up in the tower.
Okay, yeah, it's been a little while.
One of the 80 floors, like 80th something floor or something, she's like up in the tower, and like I don't remember exactly what happened to her.
Yeah, and from there you get the book goes in a bunch of different directions. You get to glimpse into some of these alternate realities. Like there's a reality where John Lennon, where the Beatles basically never took off. They never came to America. They never became they basically were a pub act and then broke up. But John Lennon still ends up in New York, and he's kind of a bitter.
So there's lots of like music, like references to
it's
popular happenings in music, I guess.
Yeah, it uses music to, along with other things, to kind of comment on American history, America's myths about itself,
a lot of which come from
politics,
through our music, if not from it.
Yes, yeah. And obviously this came out around 2016. We fill in the blanks where people's heads were at. A very, very interesting book. I want to listen to / read it again. What was I gonna say? But yeah, so it uses music a lot. There's a character who, So this character is Elvis's brother.
Yes.
Because in the other reality, he's like a male model, but also he's like writing for this magazine.
Oh.
I want to say it's a music magazine or something. I can't remember. Yes. Where he's kind of reviewing music, trashing things. Just kind of and there's an author character who's kind of reflective of Erickson himself, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. And as he kind of gets older and stuff, he kind of becomes super obsessed on more so creating playlists than writing writing actual books.
Yeah.
Had I read it just now, I'd probably be able to elucidate its themes more and everything. Yeah. But I remember it being very evocative and unique, and the music played a really big part in it.
Yeah.
And having read it, Aaron, do you have anything else to say about it that I'm forgetting?
So it starts with a guy who's a truck driver.
Yes.
And basically, because I'm double checking some things in here as well, but the book, it's set 20 years supposedly after 9/11. Mm. So this is like 20 years after the fact. We live in an alternate universe
we're coming up on that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, no, we've already passed it.
So
I was like,
so it's more like an alternate present, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yes. Given that, but I think it was published in 2017 or something.
Something like
2015,
that.
2015, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. 2017 is when I see like a Los Angeles review for it, so I think it was 2017.
You're also following a brother and a sister traveling across the country. They're trying to find the titular shadow bond, which is supposed to be like this, highway that will take you through the seceded areas safely and
that's kind of an interesting.
So there's it starts with like this guy who, and it's really interesting to listen to an audiobook, by the way.
It is a good audiobook.
Because that's how I listened to it for the the thing, but there is a guy, and the guy is like truck driving through the Dakotas. It's called the Badlands during this time, but it's through the Dakotas. And as he's going through the Dakotas, that's when the tower comes up, and it's like in the middle of his path. And so he's trying to, I think, like call his wife at that point. And the really interesting thing is now that these towers are up, a bunch of people are drawn to it. And like, yeah, they'll see it on the TV screen, but that's not the reason that they're all coming. They're hearing music, and it gets louder as they're going to the tower.
That's interesting.
Though they keep saying in like reviews, so it might be true, but the only person in the building is Jesse Presley, who is supposed to be the like stillborn brother of.
Yeah. I think it's only him until they send in that police.
Yeah.
Or the government or the police send in that one woman.
Yeah, there's like a person who goes in.
And then she starts to see things from her past.
And so it's kind of what it does is it takes like the last like 60 years from that like moment back, and it takes certain things and like twists it on its head. Like John Lennon is somehow involved in this.
JFK shows up, but he was never elected president. He's kind of a failure who ends up in Andy Warhol's factory in New York or whatever.
Yeah, so you get to kind
Kennedy and the Warhol factory. That's fascinating.
And so you start seeing some of these like, what if this is what happened, alternate universe kind
Just
of
like
things.
an alternate history.
It's done really interesting because every single person who hears something from the tower is hearing different music that plays. It's a different song every single time.
Well, I would hope.
And the chapters are all like the different people. I think one of the more consistent chapters besides Jesse is definitely the brother and the sister who are currently traveling across the country through those different areas of like seceded areas to get to, I think, their father.
Yeah, he lives by Lake Michigan or something.
Yeah, so they're trying to go from California to Michigan. And they get kind of caught up in the tower reappearing and start making a side trip to the tower instead. And so what they're coming to terms with is the divorce of their parents. And it talks to them. A lot of everything is like backstory to like their parents divorcing and how they feel because like the brother's like 23 and the sister's like 16.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the mom was like super duper like, I don't want you guys going by yourself, it's dangerous. And they were like, we'll be fine. And then, the tower just kind of shows up in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And I think there's a point later in the book where it kind of harps on, the sentiment that, with an event like 9/11, nothing will ever be the same. And it kind of plays. It's kind of a two-handed thing. On one hand, it kind of playfully messes with that. We're like, okay, well, let's see all the other different ways that things could have happened.
Sure.
It changes history and whatnot. And I think on the other hand, well, no. Then it gets into like American imperialism and stuff. Maybe this was kind of built in. It's not a bug; it's a feature of where we were headed. As a country,
sounds like a sort of man in the high castle for
in a way.
9/11,
Yeah. No, but and like I said, music plays a huge part in it. There's a lot of extended, just kind of diatribes on music history and stuff like that. So it's very interesting. And
if you like speculative fiction and things that like actually like question like, what if we never did this? What if we never did this? Like alternate history kind of thing. You would like it. But you have to be aware that like Steve Erickson is going to start talking some crazy stuff, and you're going to be like, you're going to Victor Hugo yourself into an area where he just like Steve Erickson rants about something for a minute.
It's
and
a
you're
postmodern
like, why?
novel, so.
That makes sense. The postmodernist, that's a facet.
If I can make a really quick transition to something,
go for it.
Okay, I know where the inspiration for Jesse Presley and the Twin Towers came from.
Where?
But the author has never acknowledged it to the best of my knowledge.
Where did it come from?
So, and it was only mentioned in one Spanish language review I could find.
Fascinating.
Tell us more.
Yes. So there's a song by probably top 3 musical artists, Scott Walker, who has a whole convoluted history. He started as a pop star in the 60s, disappeared for a while, came back in the 90s and 2000s as a really challenging avant-garde artist. And in his album The Drift, which I want to say is from like 2007 or something.
Yeah.
2006.
2006. He has a song called Jesse, and it is told from the perspective of Jesse Presley. And
Interesting.
who we just discussed was the stillborn brother of Elvis, and he uses the Twin Towers as a metaphor, basically, for all this stuff. And he lived in New York for a time, and so he had a connection. Scott, I'm talking about, connection to the city, and it was just such a unique combination of things. I'm like, there's no possible way that Erickson could have just come up with this
based on the song alone.
And the book itself has so much to do with music in general. I'm like,
I
obviously
wonder if
listens. I'm like, the connection is so specific.
I mean, that just kind of reminds me.
Maybe it's my conspiracy theory. I don't know.
I wonder if, because the creative process is so strange, I wonder if it was something that he heard once at a part. Maybe someone had Scott Walker on somewhere or something, and he heard it, didn't think anything of it, and then years and years go by, and
it's possible.
It just pops back up in some kind of way. Because because you're right, those two things are very,
very specific.
Yeah, and there's no real linkage otherwise between those two very, those events in American history. So it does make one wonder.
That's my theory, though.
Yeah.
As far as I know, Erickson never commented on it. Like I said, I can only find somebody else mentioned the connection in a random review.
Yeah. It also might be a really nicely buried Easter egg.
It could be.
Yeah.
Who knows?
One of those things where it's like, I wonder how many people will get this other than Scott Walker.
Yeah.
I wonder if Scott Walker will get this. I don't know.
Well, he's dead, so.
Oh, well, never mind. He's not
Frank's
getting it.
conspiracy theory reminds me of the MCR made Twilight conspiracy theory.
Oh, yes, where it's like a domino effect.
I don't know if Tony's heard that conspiracy theory.
Heard that one, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Well, that makes I was just thinking that about books that have music, and probably my favorite, definitely my favorite novel that stars a character that is an actual musician is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, which is small beer. Well, it's not small beer, it's a New York Times bestseller, but small beer compared to Shadow Songs.
Is the main character like a musician or something?
He is, yeah. So it starts off in a way that's like, you get the idea that this person behind the bar is probably not just a person behind the bar. And after a few chapters of him basically trying to be like, I'm not the person you think I am, then he's kind of backed into a corner and made to tell his story. And he's like, fine, I'll tell the story. I'll tell it in 3 days. And then after this, if you make it out alive, fine, you can publish my story. Which you get the impression of like, this biographer's not getting out of this alive, but whatever. It's a nice little conceit. And he begins to tell, because he goes by all these many names and things like this, so it's almost like he's a retired hero in a way, or a hero who's done many things, including killing a king and so on and so forth. And you kind of want to know, like, well, wait, how did a man who killed the king become a barkeep? How does that work? Kind of thing. It's full of lots of intrigue. And then his story begins when he's 12, 13, he's a kid, in a performer's troupe. It's not just an acting troupe. So they perform, they write music, they do the whole nine, every person. It's like if musicals just like traveled, which they do. It's that version of it, sort of the Chaucerian, village troupe that goes all over the place. Yeah. And it's like a tribe of people, and they're their own, it's an old fantasy conceit. And you often in fantasy, and I think this is one of the reasons that people were so attracted to the book initially, and then I think just the fact that it was so well written kind of helped people fall in love with it more and more, myself included. But you always see that character in a story. Like, in Wheel of Time, it's Tom Merrilin, the Gleeman. You meet him when he comes to the village to sing his songs, kind of thing. Or, Bilbo in The Fellowship is trying to figure out how to write an elven song because he's in... it's not River Run.
Rivendell?
Rivendell. Wow. I was like, River Run, River Wood. No, which one is it? One is Skyrim, one is Game of Thrones. Wrong one.
River Run is Game of Thrones.
Yes, I know. Riverwood is Skyrim. Yeah, I know. I was wrong fantasy property. In Rivendell, he's trying to figure out how to. So you got all these songs. Treebeard's Entwife song, which is the longest and most ridiculous and most absurd, and I hate Tolkien forever for that.
Tony, you just don't appreciate their desire to be reunited with the Entwives.
I do not. I definitely, desperately do not. So there's songs in fantasy, and even figures who sing songs in fantasy are sort of old hat by the time you get to the publication of The Name of the Wind in the early 2000s. But for that character to one, be a retired hero, but then also be an actual, from a troupe of performers, and for that to take up so much of that book. He literally gets through college by performing. The only way he's able to pay for college is because he performs at an inn, and they're like, "You're some kid, you can't perform," and then he's like, "Yeah, never told them that I literally grew up knowing every song on the planet. It's fine," and then just starts performing, and people are like, "How much can we pay you?" And they're like, but it's also practical things. Like, he plays the lute, which means he's constantly replacing strings. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, is he supposed to be good at this? And then I read or watched or something an interview with the author, where the author was like, yeah, one of the biggest edits I had to make after finishing, the initial draft of these books, when I researched lutes, I had to realize, like, if he's playing his lute that often, he's going to have to, like, replace strings as a habit. Like, lute strings are not guitar strings. They don't work that way. Like, you have to really...
It's like ballet shoes. After you do, like, a certain amount of performances, you have to replace them. There's no way possible.
Yeah.
And by an amount of performances, I mean literally ballet dancers have to replace their shoes, like, every week.
Yeah.
Because when they get new shoes, they have to break... Go on TikTok and look up, like, how they break those down, because it's kind of ridiculous. Of what
it is. It's pretty crazy. But I thought it was really interesting, the like, hanging an entire novel on the the woes of a
lute player?
College-bound lute player. It's a college of magic, and he's having to figure out how to pay his rent. Like, that's cool enough, but to add the fascinator of, like, he's incredibly talented and literally does not need magic in order to play his lute or to replace his strings, because that's part of just knowing how to be a lute player and knowing how to, all those things. I thought it was really, really dazzling, and just the descriptions are wonderful too, and all that kind of thing. So I love the music, and the fact that he's a musician in that book are really fascinating. And I like it even more because you don't need... There are some, just because fantasy novels can't seem to resist this because Tolkien, bits of song in there, but not overwhelming, which there could have been an overwhelming amount of it. And I also actually like the way that he writes lyrics better than... Mr. Herbert is talented at many things. His rhyme schemes in his songs in the first Dune book are really annoying because he clearly doesn't care about rhythm. Like, lyrical rhythm. So sometimes, like...
I mean, they walk without rhythm. Maybe they rhyme without rhythm.
Well, I will say, actually, his the one song late in the book that does work is the Sand song. There's a Fremen song that either Paul hears or knows or something that they're singing, and it actually, like, sounds like the rhythms sound like like a shuffling feet across sand or something like that, which is really fun, because up until then you've gotten descriptions of, like, oh, they walk like this, this, but you don't really know what that sounds like, and so you get that one little bit of rhythm. But by the let's see, it's a 6-line thing, I think. By the 5th line, he's changed the rhythm just slightly, and I'm like, oh, and it's not a poet or a musician's, like, sound change. It's the kind of sound change where you're like, you stopped caring. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to be a brilliant lyricist.
So what you're saying is you're not going to read the collection of in-universe Fremen songs called Songs of Muad'Dib, right?
It's unlikely.
Okay.
It is not his gift.
Okay.
I will say that. But there are plenty of lyricists who are not gifted as this either, and they somehow make careers out of it. So, it's not his fault, and it's completely fine. But I also think it's something like one of those things that Tolkien does really, really well in both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. When he puts in a song, it's almost annoying that he cuts it off, with the one exception of the beard, because he should have cut that off sooner. But, like, you really get this feeling of, like, there's a whole song here. Where's the whole song? Where is the song, sir? And he's really, really good at, like, when he shifts rhythm in the middle of he almost never shifts in the middle of a stanza, because that's just bad form. But when he shifts rhythm, he shifts it with the ear of a poet. He's an extraordinary... He has an extraordinary ear for rhythm, which you can tell in his sentences, especially if you hear them read out loud or if you read them aloud or something. But he's really, really good in the songs and poems in the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I think they're just some of the best parts of those books in some ways. So there's my music. I will say I am grateful we are living in an era of fantasy where fantasy writers do not feel the need to add music like lyrics to their in-world universes to make them feel real, because it's like, guys, you don't need it. Like yes, Tolkien did it. Yes, it's good when you're Tolkien or whatever, but like you don't actually need that. It's like when you have a character that's a cobbler, and instead of telling us the story of a cobbler in a story, and there might be this room in the cobbler's house or that room in the cobbler's house for the getting done of the cobbling, you start detailing how the cobbling is done, and it's like, I don't care. I could care less about the cobbler's work. No, just anyway, that's...
It's because they're doing that in fan fictions.
Well, it used to be it was a staple until I want to say one of the things that maybe changed that is that Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones changed everything. But I would say even before Game of Thrones became sort of like the landmark fantasy epic in America or in publishing, I would in the early 2000s when publishers were literally just like, if it ain't Harry Potter or Harry Potter adjacent, we don't want it. And big, long, epic fantasy books were just not getting published if there was anything that slowed down the pace of the story. And those, snatches of song do slow down. You have to slow down and read them, whatever, or skip them if you're going to do that. So I think that's one of the things that sort of altered that. And then you've got a lot of new voices into the field that just didn't do that. Either because they didn't want to, or because they weren't good at it, or because they were, being told no by their editors. So, it's fallen out of favor in a lot of ways. I would like to see it come back. I think I think there's no reason to not do it if you want to do it. I also don't think it's something that has to be had. Like in the 90s, you can open any random fantasy book in a series and there's a snatch of a song in there, and you're just like, why? We don't need the sea shanty here, whatever.
Have I told you that they're, speaking of other media that uses music as their main form of stuff and has lyrics and stuff, have I ever told you guys about the video game that existed in the 2000s for the PlayStation that was literally just a musical, but it was a fantasy musical?
No.
So there's a PlayStation game called Rhapsody: A Musical Adventure. And it used to be a game that would have the game disc, and it was a double disc case because it had the game and then it actually had the soundtrack to go with it that you could listen to for fun. Oh,
that's fun.
It's your typical fantasy storyline where there's a prince, there's royalty involved, you have to go save somebody, blah blah blah, but what it does is it kind of turns it on its head just a little bit.
Oh.
So you follow this girl named Cornette who is a puppet master, and what she does is she uses her trumpet to utilize magic to bring her puppets to life.
Oh.
And she uses the puppets to help her fight, but she also has uses the magic, the trumpet, to help her do other things.
Yeah.
And so she's in the forest one day and she meets the prince of the land, and he's doing his parents are doing like a Cinderella ball kind of thing. It's kind of like a Cinderella turn on her head, but give me a second here. So his parents are doing like a competition where whoever wins the competition is going to be the prince's wife.
Okay.
Thing.
Okay.
And they're opening it up to literally like everyone, and it's supposed to be like a pageant. And so she, who has met him in the forest before, and they were friends, or like she has a crush on him from meeting him in the forest like one time because, you know, it's a fantasy.
Yeah.
It's for kids, but you just kind of get along with it. Well, kind of for kids. But she meets him, she has a crush on him, she decides to go to the big city, leave her grandfather behind, see if she can, like, do something with the pageant, because what she really wants to do is get her name out there as a puppeteer kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So she goes out there, she has, like, a rival who she meets in the city that she was friends with when she was little, who's, like, this rich, snobby little girl, kind of like Veruca Salt type character. Mm-hmm. And
does she turn into a blueberry?
No.
Okay.
She gets eaten by a worm.
Even worse.
Wait for it. And so they go through this pageant, and then there's this evil lady, like a Sailor Moon-esque evil villain lady group.
Oh, well, you know, I love
who controls these cat people. And her name's Queenie.
What is this game?
And somehow they turn into a musical.
And she decides that she wants the prince for herself, and his name's Ferdinand, because they literally put his name in there. So she kidnaps him, turns him to stone, and kidnaps him to her tower, which is somewhere that nobody knows, so they have to figure it out.
Of course she has a tower.
And so Cornette and her friend, I believe her name's Eloise, but it could be a different name. It starts with an E. And so they both go on this adventure where they have, like, they split up because Eloise / Estelle, whatever her name is. Yeah. She decides, I can do it all by myself, and takes her, like, Secret Service agents, and they, like, F off into the distance to go find it themselves because she thinks she's fine. Meanwhile, you're going through all these different areas trying to find clues of, like, where this lady's castle is located to, like, go fight the queen, the evil queen lady. And I kid you not, they are dressed up like Sailor Moon villains. And they have an evil villain song to go with it. It's the whole entire thing. It's a musical.
It is a musical, okay.
It is a musical. There are songs in between.
That makes sense.
And so the idea behind it is like, you're going through this, you're finding all these puppet friends that you're helping, and they all decide to join you and help you to fight the evil queen. Mm-hmm. But it gets to a point where you're quite literally stuck in a worm. Because you all get eaten by, like, a giant sandworm thing.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm seeing...
But wait, it gets worse.
You know.
There's a train inside of the worm. It's like there's, like, a train station inside of it. And you have to leave the train to go find the different areas to, like, turn off the worm. And then go fight the heart and beat up the worm by destroying the heart. It's like a whole thing. And if you don't do it correctly, you die in enough time. And it gets to the point where you have to go to this lady's castle, and I believe it's either high up in a mountain or in space somewhere.
You know, video games are not this weird anymore, and I'm kind of mad about it.
You have to go save him, and so once you save him, he's like, oh, thanks! And so she marries him in the end.
Huh.
This game came out in, like, the 2000s.
That sounds like an
late 90s,
game.
early 2000s.
Yeah, that sounds...
It was a Japanese game, and it was actually part of, like, a series.
Wow.
Where, like, her mom is actually, like, an angel or something. Like, an angel, like, princess queen thing or something.